Thank you, Mr. Praveen. Very warm welcome to this Agrochemical Summit. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished panelists in this podium and this off the podium. Well, the topic what we are discussing here is how can we make India a global hub for manufacturing of agrochemical and also for the export. Now, this is a very common topic. Very common topic. We discuss it for last 5 years or even more than that. We have discussed about it. And we have done phenomenal success. Let me put this way. We have done phenomenal success. And the benchmark is, I'm in this industry for more than 3 decades. Barely a 6 or 7 years ago, our export figures were lower than the domestic. And today, I think it's well around 45,000 crores. That is what it is. It has surpassed domestic. So it means the round of applause to all the exporters of the country, those who have made India proud of this. Now the question what I would like to ask is whether it has happened on its own or something we have done. If we have done, whether it was a systemic or it was just accidentally it happened. Is it because of some countries do not want to manufacture, developing countries do not want to manufacture, and so the pie has come to India and the Indian entrepreneur has pounced on it and then we really encashed it. Once giving answer in yes and no is very difficult. But I think, yes, our entrepreneurs, our industrialists, they are very smart. But to carry on from here, is it easy to be a number one if we want? Is it easy? And if we have to make it really number one, what all things are required? I would have put only 3 things. I think Dr. Manish has talked in detail about what things are there, what is required, but I would put it to only 3 things which are required to be a number one. ICC, intent, collaboration, and then your credibility. These 3 things are going to drive India to be number one. So if we do not have an intent, if we just want to give a lip service and just be an opportunist player, then the sustainability is impossible. What Praveenji said is going to be a bumpy ride. We will be growing and then we will be degrowing. So it's a very important that your intent has to be clear and it has to come from the bottom of your heart. Now when we are talking about an intent, the regulatory body cannot sit at alienation. They need to be a part of it. And then when I'm talking about on the first point, that is the intent, then the regulatory is an integral part of it, how it is supporting you. Today, no doubt, you are getting intermediate, you are getting N-4 stage, 3, 2, 1 stage from neighbor country, and then you are producing it, exporting it. You just file application for export registration in India, you are getting it very fast. So intents are very obvious. The government regulatory body wants to support you. However, the kind of a structured platform is required that is a missing out as of now. We need to build on that. And that how it will come is, here we need to really work on the collaboration. If we think any company can do its own, I'm sorry, it's going to be a very expensive affair and it may not be a viable project. And that's why we are not able to do even the reverse engineering as much as China is doing. Look at the China intent. I'm just putting forward. They are giving the incentives for the export. Name the product the day it is getting off patented. It is ready on the shelf in China. We hardly work on that. And because every company wants to do on its own, so this is an area where I would just like to support what you said is that there is the academia, industry, and the researchers. All three of them have to come together and work on a predetermined plan, execute it. There are a lot of institutes, a lot of engineering colleges, those who are doing just dummy research. I don't want to demean them, but what I want to really put forward is what we have brought it on the table. What has the fructified? Have we really monetized those research? I think a question can be asked to ourselves, and the answer will be on your table. So second point was my collaboration. This need to be really implemented. Again, if I tell from this dais, this podium, won't make a sense unless until there is an action plan and accountability determined. Who is going to take the lead for that? Who is going to address to the academia to come forward? Who is going to come to the national chemical laboratories? What kind of a task you are giving? And then this is workable. And then the third point which I talked about was the credibility. For a while, I was looking into the export part of it, and I worked in Africa also for a couple of years. I'm also an alumni of IFT, and in my previous organization I was taking care of export, and literally I found it very difficult on the dossiers which you are submitting to these nations. So that your NABL accredited laboratories which are there, those who are giving you your studies, how sincerely they accept it. I personally am sharing my experience in Brazil, in UK. There were so many questions raised. And those queries remain unresolved over 4 years, 5 years, one after another they are, because your study is conducted in India and they are not accepting it. So without credibility, if we want to really reach at the zenith of perfection or at the top of a mountain, I don't think it's possible. The first and foremost thing is credibility that we have to build. Let the world knows if the product is coming or it's getting produced in India, so it is coming from the right process. The process is very structured. There is institutionalization of the whole process. And then there is the complete structure which is in place. And I think these are some of the enablers which can make India to gallop in this export business. I wouldn't like to talk too much on the regulatory part, but I think two important things I would be talking is, one is how we are changing the reforms in today's context, what it is available. And those reforms, we do talk. I have been a part of many forums, but frankly speaking, the matter is static. If you ask ourselves of what changes we have brought in the last 5 years, if there is any answer, I would be glad to meet the person and just hug him. So these are not happening. These are happening because of the entrepreneurs, those who are taking a bigger step and they are venturing, they are taking a risk. I know many of the companies, those who have invested abroad. But I would like to give here a company like a Safex. Now, I come from Safex. Safex is, for your information, Safex is the company which has done its own research and innovated a product, RNF, renofluthrin, which is a patented. So it is India's first chemical, agrochemical, which is now being used on a household, which is a patented, and it is marketed by very good organizations like yours. So we are globally doing it. It's also the company which has put up its plant in UK, which we acquired. And we are exporting, the company, it's an Indian company which is exporting to almost 21 countries. But the revenue is not coming to India. So that revenue is not a part of it. So the Indian companies going abroad, putting up a factory, manufacturing unit. This is a CDMO plant, by the way. So there is incentivization which is lacking at the moment. That is not encouraging. That's not good enough. It is good to be in the race, but it is not good enough to be a number one. So with that, I would just summarize. Let us have our intent clear, work in a systematic manner with a time-bound programs, measure how we have progress, and let us work collectively, bring collaboration in our industry, do the reverse engineering of all the products which are having a good market outside, and bring credibility into our research system. With that, I just say thanks to all of you for your patient listening. Thank you.